What's good, guys? It's your boy CS. In this video, I'm just going to take a quick look at Bitcoin to close out the week. So currently at around 59, 60K. As I said to you on the last video yesterday, it does seem on the lower time frames we are looking quite bullish. If we zoom out though, as I like to always do this first, and we look at the higher time frames, so far Bitcoin has now retested successfully off this spider line. Next week we could even see it come back down to 58K as a third and final retest, but really we're going to attack this Fibonacci level at 61.2K, which actually coincides with a few different things. The first one being, the weekly is around 61, so we'd ideally want to close here today above that. If not, tomorrow, then Bitcoin will try to attack it next week. Also note that there is still that cluster that we're trying to get through. So yesterday we had to close over the 200. Today, can Bitcoin close over the 20? Maybe, hopefully. It can do so. And then if we do, we most likely will get a charge towards the 50 and the 100, this turquoise and orange line, right? But realistically, I don't see us getting a close over it, just because when there's clusters about, it's very, very difficult to get above. Like as you saw here, one, tried it again 3 times, maybe 4th time lucky, or we might get an impulse move up and then retest it, or we might hit them, come back, retest the red line at 60.3 and then come through. But right now Bitcoin, we can't say for certain this is a higher low until we know that Bitcoin has come into around this region here. Then we can say it's printed a higher high, and that is definitely the higher low. And then we can start moving. In terms of horizontal resistance, very similar. We're still within this little banding here. We do ideally need to get over here and hit this cluster there. Now, if we look at the lower time frame, and I might just keep the EMA ribbons there for a second, but we're now breaking out of this wedge pattern. We've come and retested it twice so far, so 1, 2, but really I want to see 4-hourly candles close on here on this little red line, because that would then insinuate we are going much higher, as in we are going to basically come out of this wedge pattern and really test. The other thing is, as you may remember, I always keep these historical support and resistance lines. This one historically dates back to 2022. And as you remember on the weekly, we came out, came back in, came out, and then tried to test it, but we haven't come back in. And then this week, it looks like we're closing above this pink line. And that's very, very bullish for Bitcoin, because historically, that has been a massive support and resistance zone for Bitcoin. And remember, those that had played a support and resistance in the past always play a support and resistance in the future. And hence why I love that spider line chart, as I always revert back to it. Historically, we came and touched it there. We came and touched it there and there and there. And you'll just see all these little clusters that we're in that confide to the spider lines. Anyway, coming back to the smaller time frame, Bitcoin does look like it's moving really well here, to be fair. And as you saw, I said the 3rd time lucky. As you may remember in the group, I said normally we come back and we retest it on the third time. So yeah, this was the 3rd try out. We've now broken the 59.9, 59.6, this region. And really, we need to stay above it now. This is the bit where in this next hour or couple of hours, Bitcoin needs to hold this line. And from my kind of chart pattern analysis, this looks like an inverse head and shoulders. So there's the left shoulder, there's the head, there's the right shoulder. And like we're basically just plummeting through. You can even say there's actually double bottoms here. There's a number of chart patterns that are suggesting in the lower time frame, this is going to move upwards. But if I look at my wave patterns, we've now printed an even higher wave. And so on the 1 hourly, I would expect us to get some kind of kickback, some recoil back down to 59.1 perhaps, maybe around here. That's what the lower time frames are showing. We are overcooked on the wave patterns for sure. But if we go back onto the higher time frames, even on the 2 hour, we're printing quite a high wave there as well. On the 4 hourly, now come back up. The wave has now set in. 12 hourly, there's actually a divergence here. So really, we could even go higher. And as you remember on the flashing one, that one there, this has now created a bit of a divergence here, and it's flashing a buy signal. Hence why I have gone in onto a Brett long, which was at our region here, perfectly where I said it. So yeah, things are looking good. We'll take a look tomorrow anyway for further opportunities and see where the market is. But right now, Bitcoin on track. And finally, just on the Tether dominance, I think it's the 5.623% level. Ideally, we want it to close under there. So we do want this weekly to close under the 5.62%, 3% region. That's all I've got for you guys. I will catch you in the next one.